The internet is a terrible counselor. Time after time, I've found myself asking deep questions to the internet, and if the answers are there, they're drowned out by other nonsense on the internet, and so I'm not able to find them. And so since 2015, I've been saving a list of questions I would wish to ask an internet which is wiser. It's a real shame because whenever you ask anything to do about fantasy, it always ends up recommending results that are so doom and gloom, saying the dangers of living in a fantasy world and the dangers of too much daydreaming or whatever. But it's just... Sorry, there's some birds playing over there. It's a shame that everything is taken so negatively. And whenever you search for something about, like, knowing when, like when is your life's work done, or whatever, questions such as that, talking about your life, it always just floods the responses with suicide helplines, just because it thinks, oh, if you must be thinking, like, if you're asking questions about this, then you cannot ask questions about that, and so we have to be pushy about this. But you need to be able to have that conversation without it being drowned out by an overzealous anti-suicide campaign. The conversation of, like, well, when is a good time to end your life? When is a good time to say that maybe this part of your life is done, and maybe you want to move somewhere else and be a different person in a way, try something different? There's so many different conversations about that, like what do we want our lives to be? And it's too easy for those search results just to be ruined by just thinking like you're suicidal. It's not necessarily even about that. The internet it is not built to be a good answerer unless it's simple questions. Another one that the internet doesn't do very well: asking the internet for conversations about how much information is not on the internet, because the internet has this notion when you use it that everything is on the internet, but it's clearly not. It is clearly not. And thankfully with this one, I was able to dig deep and find some scientific papers and whatnot talking about that, like from categorizers and archivists and such. They were talking about that kind of subject, but not enough. It's just drowned out by the public conversation about other things. And then there's always a background static of just random vlogs and videos that get thrown into your search results and advertisements and all of this. And the internet does not make a good counselor. It does not make a good advice giver. No. It's a shame because whenever you have deep questions, it's easy to not know which book to ask, and instead ask the internet. And the internet is so misguided with its answers that it never seems to give you the right answer. And boy, is it hard to find, like, outside of the internet, what is the perfect thing to look at, or the perfect way to look at it, to see, like, has this ever been an issue for anyone else? But so often the internet actually, aside from not giving the right answer, it even makes you feel alone, because it makes you feel like this question, whatever the question is, which any of these deep questions have been haunting people for the past 10,000 years, and it makes you feel like this question has never been asked before, and it must be a problem with you. Meanwhile, it's just a problem of you asking the smartest library you know, and it's not organized very well. I'm sure a lot of these questions have places on the internet where there's good conversation about these sorts of things, good philosophical conversations. But the internet doesn't offer them that much. It's just too geared towards advertisement and misguided campaigns and all this stuff. The internet does not make a good counselor.